Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 210 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, aka the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. And I am a bad, bad man. I am so bad that YouTube felt the need to put the B-Man in timeout. That's right. They gave one of my videos a strike, which means I was not allowed to put out content for a week. I believe it was 6 or 7 days. So if you're one of the 65 subscribers, if you're one of the 2 to 7 people that regularly watch this project, Verbal Graffiti on YouTube, and you're like, hey, where are all the videos? Did you quit? No, I did not quit. YouTube put me in solitary confinement. I was given 1 meal a day. I was not allowed to go outside for 1 hour to exercise. That's why I've gained 3.5 pounds. It's all YouTube's fault. I don't really know why I got the strike. There is an appeal that I could do to get rid of the strike. I've tried doing that before. The last time I got a strike, you get an email instantly back if you don't have a big following, which I don't have. I have 65 subscribers, so I'm not even going to bother appealing it. I do know it was for a reel that I put out called My Last Breath or Your Last Breath. I don't know what the video was, because in my MacBook, I just label everything by the date and episode in which I create it. So it's easier for me to organize it in my external hard drive, which is an SSD Sony 7, I believe. If you know, you know. It's expensive, but it's just easier for me for organization. So when I title the videos, I don't know what the titles are 2 days from after I put them out. I'm assuming it has something to do with dying, a cruel death. Obviously, YouTube does not understand my sense of humor or my sarcasm, and they took it literally. So I don't know what it is, but I got a strike. And then 2 days later after that, they gave me another strike, YouTube that is, for episode 34 or 35, which came out over, 18 months ago. Almost 2 years ago. So clearly nobody's watching that episode. So it must be the AI, their bots, YouTube's bots that are going and just trying to flag words or sounds, and they're on my ass. Now, I know it's not a person, sending the video to YouTube and go, hey, we don't like this content, take it down, because nobody watches my videos. So it has to be the YouTube AI system that they have that looks for all the content. And if I could appeal, my appeal to YouTube, if I were to try to appeal it, would be nobody watches my videos. This is not a threat to children or teenagers under the age of 18. It's what they flagged me for. So I can't be a threat to children watching YouTube if there's nobody watching my videos. And clear, I just didn't mark the episode correctly. I'm going to sneeze. I'm going to sneeze. Every time you sneeze, a pedophile gets an erection. Did you know that? I just made that up. 2026, learn how to lie. Anyway, so hopefully I'm able to put this episode out on YouTube at a regularly released time, Monday, Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. And for the 2 to 7 of you that regularly watch the content here at Verbal Graffiti, if you were worried that I quit, no, the B-Man didn't quit. I'm a roach. I keep coming. It's just I was in solitary confinement for a week. And I don't have lawyers. This isn't monetized. I can't fight YouTube. I'm just thankful that they let me put this on their platform. But anyway, enough of that. Enough of that inside baseball. Don't worry. If you thought I did something to myself or quit the project, I'm here. I'm here for at least for another 100 episodes, unless something physically happens to me, which I am worried about. But that ain't funny. So let's keep it going. Yeah, it's been a tough week for the B-Man. I wasn't able to release content on YouTube because I'm in solitary confinement. I'm not able to get into my TikTok account because I can't figure it out, how to get on it on my MacBook, so I can't put content out there. And I'm on this kink application website. it's where it's for people with kinks. And you talk about your kinks, and if your kinks match up, you can meet in person. It's a dating app for the kinky, for the weirdos, for the B-man. So I'm on that app, and I matched with a lady, a babe, allegedly. Who knows? Who knows now? In 2026, the photos were of a lady. I'm hoping she was. We were talking back and forth a little bit, and of course, since it's a kink site, she asked me, she goes, well, how kinky are you? And I wasn't making the conversation kinky. She just wanted to ask me. So she's like, lay it all out. Let me know all your kinks. So I, I'm the B-man. I'm not going to say I like to spank you on the butt. No, I come with my kink. So I told her I'm into gunplay. And then she goes, well, what is gunplay? Can you explain that to me? I go, yeah, of course. It's me wanting to take a pistol and hold it up to your temple as we make love. And she's like, well, is it loaded? The pistol that is? I go, well, I can't tell you. That would take away all the fun of the stimulation of having a gun up to your temple during lovemaking. And then the conversation was going on, and she was very dry and sarcastic and back and forth. So I'm like, oh, wow, maybe this girl, this babe, within time will let me put a gun up to her head while we're making love at some point if we were to meet in person. But then the next day or 2 days later, she messaged me back. And then it started going, and then I think I asked her to meet in person because I don't like to talk a lot online. If I meet up, if we match or I meet you in person, I'm like, let's go on a date right away. Let's not waste each other's time. I understand I am a unique flavor. I am the black licorice of love. All right, not many people like what I'm giving off. But anyway, well, she's like, well, no, I don't want to meet you in person. Like I have this, her response was, well, I have this delusion that there might be a partner out there that respects women. And obviously you don't, you being the B-man, because you want to pretend murder me. And I'm like, and I didn't get into it with her. I'm like, well, if you change your mind, here's my number, 203-500-7816. Hit me up if you want to, see me in person. And she has yet to hit me up. But I think what she doesn't understand about the gunplay is like, it's first of all, the term partner. Yeah, of course, I don't want a partner. Nobody should want a partner. Like you want a lover. You want a man who's better than you. Like if I'm with you, do know that I think I'm better than you. And you should be thankful that you're with the B-man. All right, because that's I actually don't know anything about relationships. I haven't been in a real relationship my entire life, so it is kind of ironic that I'm talking about this kind of topic. But anyways, what bothered me is that this babe thought that by me wanting to put a gun up to her temple while we make love, that's a sign that I disrespect the babes in the world. And to that, I say she's wrong. She's 100% in the wrong. You got to understand that the B-man, if I put my gun, which I don't have, I'm pro Second Amendment, but I don't have a gun. But do know that if we're making love, and I suggest or I ask if I could put a gun up to your temple while I'm looking into your eyes, while we're making love, I do so because I have the utmost respect for you. See, that's the fun of gunplay. See, I'm not pointing a gun at any other babe. All the other babes I disrespect. I don't like any other babes. I like you. That's why I respect you. I adore you. I love you. And that is the reason why I feel comfortable putting a gun up to your forehead while we make love. I think this babe had it twisted. She thought, well, if you put a gun up to my head, that means you want to murder me. That means you don't respect me. It could be that's the farthest from the truth. The fact is that if I have I'm not going to do this first time we make love, probably not even the fifth time, right? That's crazy juice right there. But when you feel comfortable enough with your lover that you can pull out your pistol and put it up to her while you're making love, that's a sign of respect. That's a sign of comfort. That's a sign that I adore you. And I didn't have enough time in our interaction on that kink app to fully hash out my thoughts and opinions of why me wanting to put a gun up to my lover's forehead is the ultimate sign of respect and I don't even know what word. I don't even know, a prayer? I don't even know what the correct word. But the thing is, like, that's what makes you special. Like, I don't want to put my gun up to any babe's forehead. I want to put it up to your forehead. Because I love you. Because I respect you. Because I want to be with you. Have a unity with you. Build something with you. A Jenga. I want to build Jenga with you. And part of it, all right. Enough with the gunplay. I'm just saying. Do know that the B-man, if I suggest, hey, how about we get a pistol and have some gunplay? I'm bringing a topic up because I adore you and I want to spend more time with you, not because I want to murder and a Game of Thrones genocide an entire half the gender females. That's all right. Enough with that. Does that make sense? Like that's what makes the kink fun. It is when you see it, you're like, wow, that's crazy. Like that's hateful. But in actuality, it's the ultimate sign of respect. That's the kink. That's what makes it kinky. Gunplay. All right. Moving forward. This next one comes from the subreddit sororities. Learn how to say that word, B-man. Do you believe in sorority effect? ? TBH, which means to be honest. I hadn't thought of this phrase much before, but yesterday, me and my sisters were at a Greek-only party, and the guy said I definitely had that happened since I look so much hotter now than when we met in class the first time. IDK, which means I don't know if it's weird, but though I was really drunk and the guy who said it too was too, drunk that is, I was thinking about it today and how I'm kind of proud that my sorority has changed me for the better in a lot of ways. I never used to dress like I do now, and I'm more confident and do think I'm prettier. Anyone else feel this way? Yeah, I feel this way for you, and I'm happy that you feel sexier, more confident, are dressing more seductively, or more ladylike, if you will. And I don't know what "if you will" really means when you say it at the end of a sentence. The first question I have before we get to you and your sorority life is, did you fuck the guy? I mean, that's what we want to know. He called you attractive. He called you hot. You were at a party together. Give us the tea. Give us the details. Again, Redditors fail us. They never give us the juicy details. I'm going to assume you two did, right? Because isn't that what... I've never been to a Greek party while I was in college or post-college. I would like to go. If you're part of Greek life, I want to go to a Greek party. A Greek-only party, that is. But I got to imagine, like, that's The point of a Greek-only party is for the fraternity brothers and their sorority sisters to get together, to have a party, to fuck each other, to intermingle, and that's it, right? It's like, hey, it's a private party. The numbers equal out. We fuck. We exclude everyone else in the student body, and we look down. We look down on those normies when we're the part of the Greek sorority pecking order. I gotta think that's what the Greek-only parties are for. Again, that's just how I think about it. If I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments. Hopefully this doesn't get flagged. I mean, what the guy says does make sense. Logically, I think that, of course, being part of a sorority makes you appear hotter than you really are. Now, it's been actually, I did stand up on a college campus last year, but the last time I was I've been on college campuses quite a bit the last year. I did a stand-up show, and I also had a niece of mine graduate from a university, so I was on campus for that. But when I was actually on campus as a student, in college, as a college age, I got to admit, yeah. There's something magical about a babe who has those 3 Greek letters across her chest, whether it's a t-shirt, like one of those neon t-shirts, or a hoodie. If you have those 3 Greek letters, those letters do make you look hotter than you really are. I don't know what it is. It does give you some pixie dust of a prettiness. You know what? It might be the uniformity of the sorority outfits or t-shirts that you all wear. There's something about ladies in a uniform are sexy. Now, we know men in a uniform are sexy, but so are the babes. And the babes who all dress the same, it does boost their attractiveness level. Sorority sisters, nurses, cheerleaders. I mean, how many times have you been watching college football at one of the ugly schools, with the Big Ten, Iowa, or some school like Wyoming or BYU, and they go to a commercial break and they have all the cheerleaders there, they gain in the camera, rain in footage, and they're all got their pom-poms, and there's a couple of babes, but then there's also a couple chubbies with acne on their face, and they're not that hot, but they're surrounded by hotness of their other cheerleaders. So the proximity of hotness that's also wearing the same cheerleading outfit, even though they're chubby, and maybe in their civilian clothes, they're maybe a soft 6, but because of the environment and the outfit, and they're close to other babes in the outfits that are actually hot, it does raise their hotness to maybe a soft 7, from a soft 6 to a soft 7. Same thing with the sorority sisters, right? If you're out at an event, charity event, and you all have the same t-shirts on or hoodies or with the letters on it, because you're next to ladies who are wearing the same outfit and they're hot, there is something about it gives the illusion as a guy looking at you that you're hotter than you really are, which is odd because that is the exception to the rule. Like, in general, and we've spoken about this, and this is common knowledge, that if you look like Miss Piggy, and all your friends in your social circle can compete with who's that rabbit lady? Not Roger Rabbit, the hot rabbit lady cartoon from the 90s, whatever her name. But if you're not attractive and all your friends are hot and attractive and you go out to the bar or whatever event, you're setting yourself up for failure, for a life of loneliness, So like, that's my advice to, if all your girlfriends are hot and you're not, don't go out with the hot girlfriends. Stop being friends with them and find friends that you're hotter than. Because the ugly friend of the group, when all your friends are hot, like none of the guys are going to want to fuck you and marry you, and then you're going to end up alone. So you don't want that. But there is something that is normal. But with the sororities and cheerleaders and nurses and police officers, if you're a female cop, something about the uniform. When you're in the uniform, it is an illusion. It's a magic trick. It makes you think, it makes you, from a John's perspective, it makes you look hotter than you really are. So this guy at the party who called you attractive because you're in a sorority now, he's spot on. He's a savant. Much more intelligent than I was at that age, and probably still am today. So we'd like to have him as a guest here at Verbal Graffiti, but he's absolutely right. And it does make sense. Besides what I just talked about, is, if you're in a sorority, part of Greek life, the ladies are the members of the sorority who picked the new members, the fresh incoming freshmen. They want hot ladies part of their sorority because that makes that improves their status. They get invited to more Greek only parties, more nightlife. It's more active, so they want the hottest women possible in their sorority. So the fact that you got into sorority, that's an affirmation that you're hot enough to be in a sorority, which in and of itself makes you hot. Now, you might be the charity case for the sorority, similar to, we always see those, they did a high school basketball or college basketball, last game of the season, they let the kid with Down syndrome on the court and he makes a three-pointer and everybody goes wild. Maybe that's who you are to this sorority. It's like, well, we can't have, they're probably in a position, the sorority that is, where they need to induct some ugly sisters so they don't get accused by the university of only selecting hotties into their house. So they need some uglies to prevent any lawsuits. And maybe you're one of those uglies that they let into the sorority. But even if you are the ugly, like, you still gain confidence being in the sorority. You're like, wow, they invited me into this house. I'm wearing the same clothing as them. I'm part of the hot group. And I'm surrounded by all these sisters who are dressing better than me. So you're competitive. So then you start dressing better. And you start getting noticed a little bit more on campus, in the student body, at the parties. So it keeps increasing your confidence, which in and of itself is a sexy trait. So it does give you a bit of a glow up. So you probably do raise a point just being in the sorority. You can go one of two ways. You go in the sorority, you become competitive with your other sisters to dress better, to be hotter, to be like them, which you're doing with a tip of our penis to you. Or you go the other way where it makes you miserable, you get stressed out, you get an eating disorder, and you flail out. But that's not you. You're the competitive, not the lady in the Greek house. So good for you. So I think this guy is absolutely correct, his assessment. And yes, I do think you are more attractive today than you were last year when you were not part of the Greek life, when you weren't in this house. And now to all the college bros out there, the frat bros, this is a sign that it's okay to fuck the ugly sorority sister. Because again, like our lady just told us, that even though she's ugly, she's putting out hotter energy than she really has. So take that energy and be okay fucking the chubby or the ugly sorority sister. And think about it. That's win-win all around for the frat bro. Just because you get to have sex with, hey, good for you. Yes, you have to do the walk of shame afterwards or the next morning, But again, it's not a normal walk of shame. A normal walk of shame, you just leave a dorm room or an apartment and you go home. But if you're at her sorority house, maybe you get a glimpse of one of the hot sorority sisters in a towel or her bra and panties as you're leaving the house, which is, hey, put that in the spank bank. That's always good. And also, as we just mentioned, we do know that sorority sisters are competitive with one another. So hopefully, if you fuck the ugly or the fatty or the less attractive sorority sister, hopefully she has enemies within her sorority. That way, maybe some of those sisters that are beefing or have grudges against the one you fucked will fuck you to get back at the sorority sister you fucked. So by fucking the ugly sorority sister, you're in the game. There are probably going to be other sisters in that house that are going to want to fuck you because you fucked her, so you must got something. So again, you're in the game. You're in the sorority house. You infiltrated it by getting the easiest or the ugliest sister there is. And yeah, maybe you'll take some flack for that. You'll take some shrapnel. The boys in the frat house will make fun of you for that. But again, you're in the house. And some other sister's going to see you, and she's going to try to get at you to get back at the sorority sister's back that you got. Yeah. This guy's a savant, so good for you. You're living the college lifestyle. You're part of the Greek life. You're going to parties. You're getting compliments. Who has a better life than you? Certainly not me. A guy who was just in solitary confinement at YouTube prison. Let's go look at something. I have one more complaint I'd like to file against or to the babes that are on these kink apps. And the kink app that I'm referring to in that first segment, it's called FEELD. It's FEELD. It's the only app where babes will actually respond back to me, and not many. I've been on it maybe 3 months. I've had maybe 4 matches where the babes actually talk to me. Anyway. But I do read the profiles. As you know here, I like to read. I'm reading a 700-page novel with footnotes about former President Richard Nixon, Tricky Dick. Anyway, so I do read. And more so than the photos, which we all know how to filters like every other app, the profiles on this kink web application, FEELD, there really isn't a limit, on character limit. So you can write an essay, you can write as much as you want, and I do enjoy. I get a giddiness, a pleasure. It's fun for me to read the profiles of some of these weirdos, these kinksters, these goonettes. And then my complaint to you, the jury, the audience, the internet, is that there's far too many babes that are going to these kink apps to find real love, a real committed monogamous relationship. Get away from us. We don't want you on our kink apps. We are the weirdos. We are the broken. We are the island of overcrowded misfit toys. If you want a loving, committed snooze fest of a relationship, if you want marriage and some children and a house and a big wedding, go to Bumble. Go to Hinge, go to Tinder, go to Jewish person dating, farmer dating. Go to those apps. Those are for the normies. For you're infiltrating our little corner, our little app for the weirdos who want to play with gunplay and pee on your face and shove your head in the toilet. The kink sites are for us, and you're ruining our app. Now, it's not my app, but I'm part of it, and I got some weird kinks, but you're just a wet blanket on my experience. Like, I'm reading all these funny, weird profiles of all these married couples and these unicorns and these women who clearly have daddy issues. It's just bearing their soul to a John like myself and all the weirdos on the internet. All this cheese doodles. All this broken souls. And it's this normal babe in a sundress will come, hey, I'm not here for kink. Even though this is a kink app. I'm here for real love. I have intentions. I'm dating with intent. I want to get married. It's like, bitch, take your norminess. Take your want for love. I know all you got dragged on Bumble. All the chads there, they fucked you and they dumped you. They left you on the curb. So you thought, hey, maybe I'll sneak over to the kink app. They don't know me over there. And I could fool a guy into falling in love with me there. I see right through you and I'm calling it out. I'm filing a complaint. Take that normal profile of yours and beat it. We don't want you here with the kinksters, with the goonettes, with the gooners. You got to go. Because there's nothing more of a drag than reading the funny, and the profiles are funny. They make me laugh, and it's coming by the swipe, and I always swipe left, and not because I'm a hottie or anything. I swipe left because there's just too much metal on their face and too much ink in their skin for me to just actually see an actual person. Sorry, like the septum piercing, the 12 earrings, you look like a snake. So I don't fuck with that. So I swipe left, but then you just come out a normal hot baby. Oh wow, look at this. You got a college degree, you have a normal job, stability. Get out of here. We don't want you here. We don't. This is for this. This is freaky over here, and you ain't freaky enough. So you got to go. That's why I'm filing the complaint. Moving forward. All right, this next one comes from the subreddit Tutors Helping Tutors. Are parents unaware of how stupid their children are? ? No, I don't mean to be rude, but you certainly are. But seriously, I've had 50% of parents tell me how bad the child's schooling is or how they need help, etc. Then when I go teach the children, they can't even grasp the most basic topics. I teach them the same thing for 1 hour in 10 different ways, and they still don't understand. I even started asking general knowledge questions throughout my tutoring to make sure they weren't just bad at a particular topic. But no, they don't even know basic facts, and it hurts my brain. They don't have any critical thinking ability, don't even understand analogies or abstract concepts, and the only reason they got so far in school is because learn how to read, B-man. I need a tutor. They have had the same formula hammered into their head without them thinking for 5 straight years. Do their parents not understand this? Do they expect to increase their child's IQ or brain capability or something? If a student hasn't got the capability for schooling, that's fine. But don't expect me in 1 hour session to reverse years of neglecting their entire way of thinking, which I would have to do in order to teach them basic stuff. Sorry for the rant. Do any of you relate to me? Yeah, I relate. I'll fuck with you. I was a tutor, and I was not a tutor. I was a substitute teacher in high school, and I was tutored when I was in elementary school. Obviously, I can't read, so I had to have a tutor to teach me how to read and how to speak properly. Still don't to this day when I was in elementary school. But so I can relate, and I have a lot of opinions, and I do agree with you. And yes, any kid that gets a tutor, whose parents get them a tutor, is a dumb lollipop. Now, unless it's an Asian kid, that's the exception to the rule. Obviously, if it's an Asian kid, they're trying to get a 1600 on the SATs, get into MIT, Harvard, Yale, all that jazz, Stanford. So we'll put the Asians aside. You're just dealing with normal dum-dums who parents think their kid has ability. That's why they got a tutor for their child. Now, unless it was court mandated, every parent who gets their child a tutor thinks there's some ability within that child to improve at their schoolwork, grades, learning skills, learning comprehension. Still to this day, I do not understand what critical thinking skills are. What's the difference between thinking and critical thinking? I have yet to find anybody who can explain the difference to me. It does make me think that perhaps I lack critical thinking skills. I don't know. Maybe I do. So yes, the parents do think their kid, who's a dumb lollipop, can escape the dumb of the lollipop, but they can't. And you should be thankful for that, because that's why you have a job. So you shouldn't be complaining that the kids you are tutoring are dumb and that their parents don't refuse to accept the fact that their kids are stupid and aren't going to do anything spectacular in life. That's why you're employed. See, you have the perfect students you're working with. You want to have, if you're a tutor, you want to have the dumb lollipop kid to tutor, right? Because as long as a kid is stupid, you have a job until that kid grows up. You have a client for the next 5 years. And that's what you want. You don't want the Asian kid that's exceeding in school and trying to get one up on the competition as the kid you're tutoring. Because if you have that kid, you're going to lose the client within a semester or a year, right? You want to sabotage the kids you are tutoring. You want the sweet spot where you're able to convince the parents that you're actually doing the best you can to help the student, their child out in school, while actually not helping the student. So there's a fine line you have to balance as a tutor to make as much money as you can. What you want to do is convince the parents that you're doing everything within your power to teach their child, their little boy, little Ted, teach little Ted that 2 + 2, in fact, does not equal 5. But you want to do so in such a way where the parents believe you're doing everything within your power. So you gotta fugazi, you gotta find all these studies that are showing that you're using techniques, the latest techniques for students with young boys with ADHD, and come up with like 5 or 10 different teaching techniques that you're using with the child during your tutoring lesson, and show those techniques and studies to the parents. Like, see, look at all this work, all this backlog of work I've done for your little boy, Teddy. And that's what you want to do. But you'll also, on the other side, you got to be a little bit devious. You got to, when you're actually tutoring little Teddy, you got to make sure that he remains a dum-dum. You don't want him to get passing grades in school. Because if he gets passing grades, the parents are going to go, oh, thank you, here's your paycheck, but we don't need you next year because our kid, little Teddy, is passing classes. So we're not going to waste money on a tutor anymore. So what you want to do is make sure that your kid that you're tutoring doesn't pass the classes. Therefore, you can tutor him next year as well and extract the money from the parents. And if the kid's a dum-dum, like you're bitching about here, don't worry. You can do whatever you want. And the kid's still going to think 2 + 2 = 5. He's never going to learn algebra with the letters and the symbols and the theories. He's never going to learn that. I never learned that. So so you have to dum-dum. So you don't have to do any nefarious. You don't have to be devious. This is just for when you get a student that actually has a little bit of intelligence. You got to smush that intelligence. You got to put a cap on it and not allow the student that you're tutoring to use that mind. Or you got to keep him down so yet you keep a client. Does that make sense? I hope it does. These parents, they have the worst type of dumb child, right? They have the type of child where like he's dumb. He's a dumb lollipop, but it's not dumb enough where the state will pay for it. He's not dumb enough where he gets to go on the little school bus, or the school or the state will give him extra money to get a tutor or special lessons. Because when I was, what age was I? Like, I spent 3 years in kindergarten. I went to speech lessons and through 5th grade, but like the state and the town I lived in paid for it all. So my parents didn't have to pay for preschool or anything in elementary school or any special lesson, because I was so stupid that the state was like, yeah, we'll give you money. Because if we don't help this kid out, like he's going to be a drain on the community and society. So we'll pay for his speech lessons and any extra tutor that you need to get him. But it seems like you're tutoring kids that are kind of, they're not dumb enough where they're in the special class. They're dumb enough where they're in the normal class, and the parents have to pay for everything to try to, get the kid up to whatever the standard is at for whatever grade he's in. So yeah, it's the best client. Like, he's dumb enough where the state doesn't recognize it, but he's dumb enough where he's never going to exceed in school work. So I understand you're complaining and how it's hurting your brain, but again, be happy that for the easy paycheck. And don't fuck it up. And what you want to do, last little tip here, is that if the parents complain to you that their kid, little Teddy's, not improving, not getting better grades or doing better at math, come over the top. All right? Come over the top, and instead of being passive, be aggressive. Come over the top of those parents and go, no, I'm working harder with your kid than I do with any other kid that I tutor. And you show them all the studies and all the bullshit lessons that you're doing with him, and you demand more money, right? When they threaten to fire, when they threaten to get rid of you, go, hey, our kid's not doing any better in school. We're going to cut you out of the picture. Go, no. You need me. I'm doing more work than any other tutor. I'm doing more work than I've done with any other kid, and you need to double my rate for my hour of tutoring once a week. You got to play the game. Get that money. Go suck a fat one.